Ask any forum what free video editor to use, and you'll get the exact same advice. Just download DaVinci Resolve because it's free. So you download it, open it up, and immediately stare at 17 different panels, 40 buttons, and 3 separate timelines. Before you've even made a single cut, you decide maybe video editing isn't for you. That overwhelming initial experience is why software like Shotcut exists. It strips away the studio layout, leaving you with a clean interface and a learning curve that actually forgives beginners. But if Shotcut handles basic editing so effortlessly, you eventually have to ask, why so many creators hit a wall and actively search for harder, more complicated software? The mistake people make is looking at video editing software as a group of direct competitors. In reality, they form an escalating ladder of complexity and power that you climb as your skills grow. Today, we're looking at how to navigate that ladder, specifically when to leave Shotcut behind for the first alternative, Kdenlive, and the final ceiling, DaVinci Resolve. To see how tools relate, this chart plots learning curve against editing power. Basic editors sit in the bottom left, paid software in the top right. Shotcut lands in the lower middle, Kdenlive steps to the upper middle, and Resolve sits in the top right. When you're choosing among free software, money is no longer a factor. The ultimate currency you are spending is your time and your daily cognitive load. Let's define the baseline. If you install Shotcut today, you will spend roughly 1 hour learning how to navigate the interface. That single hour of effort provides the necessary foundation to finish a project. You can cut clips, add simple transitions, drop in some text, adjust the audio levels, and hit export. For 90% of the videos people actually make, YouTube tutorials, school projects, or family vacation recaps, this frictionless capability covers exactly what you need. But eventually, your projects grow, and you hit a threshold we call timeline friction, the specific point where simple software starts slowing you down. Shotcut's breaking point usually happens when you start stacking your tracks. If you try to juggle 3 layers of audio, a massive folder of B-roll, and overlapping text effects all at once, the timeline gets messy fast. Shotcut trades advanced structural control for an easy entry. It is the perfect tool right up until your project becomes visually dense. When Shotcut's timeline actually starts holding back your ambition, Kdenlive is the logical next step up the ladder. The upfront input goes up. You are trading a clean beginner layout for an interface that is noticeably more cluttered and advanced. In exchange for learning those new menus, you gain heavy multi-track capabilities, a much better system for organizing an expanding timeline, and precise control over complex effects. Kdenlive strikes a very specific balance among free tools. It provides the deep structural control required to build long video essays or fast-paced gaming montages, but it still avoids forcing a Hollywood-style layout onto your screen. You sacrifice one-click simplicity to gain the ability to neatly organize massive projects cleanly. This matrix maps the trade-off. Kdenlive scores green for timeline control, but flashes red for a steeper learning curve and UI complexity. For creators demanding heavy lifting power without the cognitive load of a massive studio app, Kdenlive is the optimal tool. Finally, we reach the absolute top of the software escalator, making the massive jump up to DaVinci Resolve. This jump demands a massive upfront investment. You will spend dozens of hours just trying to understand its node-based workflow and navigating through segmented sub-workspaces. That immense effort provides access to the same cinematic color grading tools used by professional studios, along with advanced audio mastering and unlimited scaling for commercial work. But that power carries hidden costs. Resolve will heavily drain your computer's RAM and requires a seriously capable graphics card just to run smoothly without crashing. There is also a persistent daily cognitive load. Simple tasks that take 2 seconds in Shotcut often require significantly more mental routing and clicks to execute here. Expanding our matrix shows what you're signing up for. Resolve flashes deep green for supreme color and VFX, but hits hard red for extreme learning curves and heavy hardware demands. It acts as an enterprise-grade ceiling, reserved for commercial-quality film output. Let's step back from the software features for a second and look strictly at your own output goals. We can map out exactly what you should install using this decision tree flowchart, starting with one central question: what are you making? If your primary goal is taking a few clips, adding basic text, and posting to social media, follow the first branch and stay with Shotcut. If your workflow involves managing 5 or more tracks of audio, B-roll, and complex deep dives, follow the middle branch and install Kdenlive. And if your ultimate aim is industry-standard color grading or pursuing paid commercial film work, follow the third branch and download DaVinci Resolve. The golden rule of upgrading your software is to never switch until your current tool creates bottlenecks in your daily workflow. The best video editor has nothing to do with which app boasts the most features. It is simply the software that gets between your initial idea and your final export with the absolute least amount of friction.